Hi everybody, hope everybody's doing well. And what I'm doing today is I'm actually coming to you from my mom's kitchen in Nashville, Tennessee. And she's 87 years old, so old people like to hang up plates in their kitchen. I'd like to eat off plates, but if you look around, there's a lot of fancy plates in the kitchen. And anyway, the reason I'm in Nashville is because my mom got sick and I had to drive in an emergency wise. I had to drive to Nashville. She's okay, all right, but she's still in the hospital, so I'm gonna take care of her for a couple of days. But I wanted to put this video together. Quality's not as good as my other videos because I don't have my external camera. I don't have my ring light. Well, I don't have a ring light actually. I don't have my microphone, so it sounds a little hollow. The video's not as great. I apologize for that. But the important thing is that we're going to go ahead and work on this project. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back to our Adobe Premiere Pro. And what this video is about, this video is to talk about those 4 motion effects that you have to do for this project. So you have to do some pans and zooms on at least 4 of these clips. Now, if you want to do more, that's best credit. So you got more credit for doing more stuff than you have to. And it's always good, right? You want to pad the grade book so you have good grades at the end of this grading period. So we're in Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to go ahead and magnify that. I'm also working on one screen, so that's a little bit different. But this should be what your project looks like right now. I've actually eliminated my title. You shouldn't leave your title there, but I eliminated mine. And just to speed things up a little bit, hopefully it will work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 of these clips in no particular order, and we're going to add effects to them. And remember, of course, that you have transitions in these clips. So that's going to kind of affect the way you look at, you see something, but in the end, it doesn't really affect anything as far as the project. If you want to take these out, it's helpful, but it's not necessary. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So as you can see with this one, since I took out the title, there's no transition into this, but there is a transition out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use keyframes, and you've used keyframes already in After Effects, so it should not be foreign to you how to use keyframes. So we're going to use keyframes to add some motion and some position effects, which is basically what we're doing with these clips right here. Okay, and in order to do that, what we're going to do first off is it might not be necessary, but I'm going to double click this just to expand the view of my video clips. Okay, so you can do that if you want. It might not change the way you see anything. So you're going to go right up here, and we're going to go into the effect controls. And when you go to the effect controls, you're going to see this clip right here. All right, and that's what it was like when it was put into my computer. I could have given it a name, but I didn't, so it's just the name of the clip. It's a JPEG, which is a graphic file. And you'll see at the beginning, it looks just like this, right? So you have just the same scrubber, and as I move this, you'll see this guy move as well. At the end right here is the transition. So this is our fade out. This is where my computer's processor is not as great as the one you have in front of you, but when you scrub this, you should see your clip fade out. See right there, it's fading, and it's transitioned into the next clip, and that is happening right there in the middle of the clip, right? So we're going to add an effect to this clip right here, and only this clip right now. Since we only have this clip highlighted, and you should highlight the clips that you want to work on, the effects that we add will only affect this clip, not the next one, because the next one's not highlighted, okay? But I'm telling you that this transition right here is affecting the way you see your clip right here. You've got a cross dissolve, and so you see halfway through this, you're going to see both your clip and the next clip. So does it matter? Probably not, but let's go ahead and zoom in, and we can zoom in again using these handles right here. And that way it allows you to see your clip a little better. And you can go frame by frame to where you first see the other clip appear, etc., etc. Is it important? not really that important, okay? Because this is the clip that's highlighted. Now, let's go up here and let's get to work, okay? So right up here, you've got a couple of different, if you will, effects, all right? We've got scale, which is our zoom in and our zoom out, all right? And we've got position, which is left and right. So for now, we're just going to zoom in and zoom out. All right, now the first thing you'll see is that we've got some black boxes here. If we want to, we're gonna go ahead and zoom in until the clip, the beginning of the clip fills the entire frame. You don't have to, but professionally, you might wanna do that. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna put your cursor right to the beginning of the clip, and you're going to hit the stopwatch right here. The stopwatch right here, when I hit it, you're gonna see, let me see if I expand this. You're gonna see that it's going to put a keyframe in this area right here, all right? So just like you did with After Effects, hitting the stopwatch will add a keyframe right here. So you watch right here, I'm gonna click on this, and here's our keyframe. And in this case, it's kind of like a half a diamond, okay? All right, so we're gonna scale up to fill the frame. Here's a number right here that represents the scale. In this case, what you can do is you can just double click and type in a number, okay? And bigger than 100. 100 is the actual size of this clip right here. Or, let me click away. You see right here, we got these two arrows. Hover over for these two arrows and just click your mouse down and drag to the right. And as you drag to the right, if your computer's not lagging like mine, there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale up to the point where it fills the frame. That looks pretty good. Okay, so my fabled students, Trevor and Gavin and Brady and some others. All right, so at 134, it fills the entire frame, no black boxes. It looks really good, okay? So this is our first keyframe. This is our first keyframe. This is where our clip is going to start. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move our cursor all the way to the end, to our last keyframe. Oh, here's the thing now. You don't see your clip. Don't worry about it. Yours is the only one that's highlighted, all right? So it's not going to affect, only going to add the effect to your clip, okay? So another thing you might do is you might want to eliminate this cross dissolve. The problem is, however, that you can't see your clip at all. You can't see your clip at all, so you kind of cross dissolved out of your clip. So I would go ahead and just do frame by frame until you see enough of your clip to give you an idea of how far in you're going to zoom. Okay, or you can go on here and hit delete and eliminate your cross dissolve just to be sure. You can always put the cross dissolve back in. All right, oh, there's my last frame. And there's the first one of the next picture. Go back here. Here's my last frame. Okay. All right. Click on this again. And now we're going to go to our cursor right here is on the last frame, as you can see. You can move it over if you want, but that's my next frame. And I'm going to go back again. I'm going to, since my cursor is here, now I'm going to, let's say I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to zoom in. All right. So I'm going to grab again my cursor right here, and I'm just going to drag the handle to the right, just like I did before. And so here's a little bit of zoom in effect. It's fairly gradual, as you can see from here. All right, it's not going to be a very fast zoom in because we're only going from 134 to 173, 40 measures, if you will, 40 pixels, and so that should be pretty smooth. So now here's the tricky part with my computer. It lags so much that you can't actually see the zoom, but your computer, as you drag this cursor line from left to right, you should be able to see your effect. All right, you can't see mine, but you see it starts at 134. It ends at 173. And I'm pretty confident when I render my clip, it's going to look okay. All right, so next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to put my cross dissolve back in. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next clip, and I'm going to move my cursor over. And now you see that we've got only the next clip right here with position and scale. All right, I was playing with these yesterday, so you'll see that we've got some keyframes. So once again, you can see up here, there's no cross dissolve at the beginning. I took it out. Again, you can leave it in and work that way, but I decided to take it out. In all honesty, had I known that this affects the way you see it, I would have recommended that you waited to put your cross dissolves until the next clip. But they're pretty easy to put in. So if you want to take them all out and put them back in, go ahead and do that. All right, so here's our next clip. In this case, with this clip, I want it to zoom out. All right, so our first keyframe right here is I'm going to go for a dramatic zoom out. So I'm going to zoom in to Izzy's face. So you can see it's at 187. And now I'm going to drag my friend. All right, we've got a page peel there. I'll take out the page peel. And again, whoops. I'm just going to click it frame by frame, go to my last frame right here, and here's my cursor. And now in this case, I'm going to go back to basically 100% where it fills the frame, right? All right, so I want to zoom in. Really, we're only interested in looking at people, so it might be over 100%, or in this case, 71. But you know, we don't want to see space around people. So now my effect will be a zoom out effect, which again, you can't see on my computer, but believe me, it's happening. All right. So how do you pan? Let's go to our next clip right here. And this will be a good example of something we might want to change. All right. So again, I'm going to move my cursor across. And turn these off. I'm just going to go back frame by frame again. All right, go to my first frame. There we go. In this case, what we want to do is we want to go from left to right. But the first thing you'll see, obviously, is that we have some black space again. And if we're going to go from side to side, I think it's best that we eliminate the black spaces. All right, so in this case, we're going to first change up the scale. I'm going to click right here to put it in a keyframe, click the stopwatch, it's in a keyframe, and we're going to scale up until it fills the frame. In fact, we're going to go over a little bit. Doesn't matter that Carissa's space is eliminated, because now what we're going to do is we're going to go to position as well. So you can see we're kind of combining two effects, but only because I'm trying to eliminate the black space. All right, so we'll go to position, we'll click on that. And as a matter of fact, what we'll do before we change the position, we're just going to go ahead and click a keyframe here. And now we're going to, here's our X and Y, right? So basically, we've got left to right and up and down, okay? In this case, we're just going to go left to right. And we know that it's left to right because it's the larger the pixels. Remember aspect ratio? So 960, excuse me, is our pixel size. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move over. Move this over to where the black first appears. Right there, okay? So that's our beginning of our position. And we're going to move our cursor all the way to the end. Okay. And we're going to now move. Okay, our last frame. Again, we'll use our frame by frame advancer. And now we're going to move all the way to the other direction. Whoops. Control Z. All right. Move the wrong one. So now we're going to move this all the way to the other end of the frame and right there, okay? So now when we play this back, you're gonna see that we go from, and there's no black space. So when we play back in real time, it should be relatively small. All right, so that's our position left to right. Okay, and obviously we can combine the two, and I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. But first, we're going to go through every picture and go ahead, if you want to, fill the frame. But here's what I want to do. I want to go to this picture right here. So remember when we did the scale up, we weren't able to fill the frame with this picture? Well, now we can do that using our scale keyframe. As you can see, it says 60%. So again, we're going to go back to the very beginning. It has to be back at the beginning. Right here. All right. And we're going to scale. And we're just going to scale it up till it fills the frame. And we are not going to put one on the end. That way it's just a non-moving, or we can scale it in a little bit if we want to. That's up to you, but we have fixed this picture that did not fill the frame. All right. So now let me find one more pick to do a combination. I want to find one that's horizontal, okay? By the way, that one, the scaling the picture up, does not count as a motion effect because it did not move. So with this one, we're going to do a combination of left, right, and zoom in. Okay, so this is here. This is our first frame, again right here. And what we want to do is we're going to scale it up first, just because we're going to go left to right, and we're going to want to eliminate, we don't want any black spaces. So we're going to scale it in just a little bit to start off. I don't want anybody to be left out of this picture. All right, and now we're going to change the position, just like we did before. We're going to move it right to the edge of the black. Okay, we got a lot of space. I guess we scaled it up. So we're going to go right here. Okay, now we're going to put our cursor at the end. And we're going to, in this case, combine a scale, or we're going to zoom out. All right, so we're going to expand this picture outward. And again, we don't want any black space, so we're going to just kind of go right about here. Okay, and now with our position, again, we could go up and down if we want to. All right, there's our up and down. So let's go ahead and some slight down motion. So you can kind of see that we're moving away from the picture, all right? And you can kind of see both the zoom in, the zoom out, and we're going slightly left to right. Okay, we can go more dramatic than that if we wanted to, but we're not going to in this case. Now, remember, the further you zoom in, the more dramatic the effect is going to be. All right, so again, this clip is going to move in 5 seconds. So if I zoom in real tight and we go to our final clip, well, it needs 5 seconds to move to this position, which means it's going to go pretty fast, right? Time and distance. All right, so that is how we do some scaling and some position changes. Again, remember, you guys have to apply that effect to 4 different clips, okay? So you have to apply it to 4 different clips, 4 or more, for extra credit or best credit, all right? So I hope that's helpful to you. And in my next clip, we're going to kind of wrap it up where I'm going to show you how to download some free music from the internet. This is license free, so you can do that, or show you some different options that are legal. As long as you pay for it, you own it, okay? So, but of course you have some licensing things as far as replaying it, but it's only for class, so it's okay, all right? As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I would also recommend that if you want to go into Google Classroom and into the assignment and type a comment to me privately. While I'm in the hospital, I'm checking my messages, and so I will get an email and I can help you during the period. Okay? All right. So that's it for now. And like I said, good luck to you, and have fun working with us, because it is a lot of fun.